Hey, this is Evan Mark Katz, dating and relationship coach for smart, successful women, your personal trainer for love. Welcome back to the Love You podcast, where you can learn everything you need to know about dating, relationships, and men from a man's point of view and get the relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood. I am excited for today's episode. I think it's something everybody needs to hear. It's about persevering when it comes to love, when you're losing your faith. Before we get into today's action, don't forget to subscribe on Apple or Spotify or YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a positive review, leave us a comment where I could respond to you. I really, really do appreciate it, and I hope you appreciate what we do here. I also want to start with a reminder to register for the next installment of the Extraordinary Love series. It's going super well. I'm doing a live Zoom call, live Q&A on a specific dating and relationship topic every month for high-value women seeking high-value men. Last month's call had a few hundred women. This one's going to be even bigger. The topic is how to identify and attract emotionally available men. You don't want to miss it. Go to www.extraordinaryloveseries.com. Today's topic is a quick mindset shift. Quick is all relative when it comes to this podcast because I always feel like I'd be cheating you if I just did a 3-minute podcast. But I don't think this is going to be one of the longer ones. I think there is a set of expectations around dating that often gets dashed, and the problem is not reality. It is indeed our expectations about how dating should go and the progress that we should get over time. So hopefully this podcast allows you to reframe your negative, frustrating dating experience. Not to say that it is not negative nor frustrating, but reframe it in such a way that you could see the value in all the experiences that you have. So the way I see it as a coach is that in most things in life, you get to see progress in real time. If you work hard and put in 40, 50, 60 hours a week at work, you can see the results. You get paid more, you get promotions, you get to travel, you get to move laterally or move up, go to a different company. If you are passionate about a hobby and you are training for a marathon, you're probably going to do better at your third marathon than you did at your first. If you are engaged in weight loss practices because you're trying to get healthy, hopefully the effort that you put into diet and move your body produces real life results where it incentivizes you to keep on going because it's working. There's an input of time and energy equals an output of a tangible result. Whether that result is money or expertise or joy or satisfaction or some tangible progress, dating does not work like that. And I think that's why it holds this unique place in our world, because we lose our faith in this a lot faster because we don't see progress. And so I call it a dating treadmill. Basically, when you're on a treadmill, you're running and you're running and you're running, and you're not actually getting anywhere. Now, if you went on a treadmill and you were expecting to go somewhere, you'd be very disappointed. The treadmill is just, you're literally running in place. That is what dating feels like. It's different than work. It's different than your health goals. Literally every person that you date who you don't marry can be read as a failure. But it's not a failure. It's a data point. And that's a really important distinction. I love me some quotes. I love quoting Thomas Edison, when attempting to invent the light bulb. I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work. That's kind of what dating is. But hopefully, and this is the crux of it, there's progress that you don't always get to see. So realizing that when you're dating, if most people are not your person, that doesn't have to mean maybe it means something, but it doesn't have to mean anything. There's nothing wrong with you if you're dating and the people you're dating aren't working, because it's really hard to find one person that you want to spend every day for the rest of your life with. It should be hard. Otherwise, you'd be dating your high school boyfriend or something like that. So just understanding that baked into this model is that the default setting is failure, and not a personal failure. Not that he's a terrible guy or there's something wrong with you. It's trying on a pair of shoes and trying to see if they fit. Dating has a binary outcome. Either he is your future spouse or he's not your future spouse. So I ably predict that most of the guys you date are not going to be your future spouse. And that is okay, right? 99%? I don't even know the numbers. I do know the numbers. My number, I had to tally it when I started writing books. I went out with 300 people, right? And one of them turned out to be my wife. Now, most of them were before I was mature, stable. I mean, I did a lot of dating when I was a depressed, penniless screenwriter. But I do think that we need to have all of those experiences to help inform us. And that's the reframe that I want you to make today. Every time you go out with someone who's not your person, it hopefully gives you experience, confidence in yourself and the righteousness of your mission, clarity, both on what you bring to the table, fine-tuning your dating approach, knowing what you respond to and what you don't respond to, what you are willing, what you aren't willing to put up with. This is an accumulated wisdom. And it's the kind of wisdom, like all other wisdom, you can't really accrue through books, right? Like, I don't know how old you are. I'm pretty transparent about my age. It's 52. But I know a lot more at 52 than I did at 42. And I knew a lot more at 42 than I did at 32, and so on and so forth, right? And so much of the wisdom is going through the life experience. I knew a lot about dating because I dated prolifically for 10 years. I now know a lot about marriage because I've been married for 17 years. Right? So a lot of us, we just want to go online, sign up on the dating app for a month, swipe right a couple times, walk away with our person without realizing that that is not how the process works. There's an iterative journey, one that we understand in almost every other aspect of our life. We see it, we certainly see it in work. Right? That it's not always linear. It doesn't always, good things don't always happen, but you learn, you pivot, you move, you take a raise, you take a pay cut, you get laid off, you land in a better place. Dating done right is largely the same thing. So each guy may not be your guy, but hopefully your dating skills are improving. And more importantly, the quality of your long-term relationships are improving. And that's, to me, that's kind of all you could ask from the process, is that you are getting better at discerning what kind of person is right for you. And if you're not getting closer, if it feels also very, very random, that is an opportunity. If you're listening to this and being like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? This is an opportunity for you to tune in and consider, if you're not learning, not every guy has something to teach you. Right? Sometimes it's just teaching you what you don't want. But if you don't feel like your dating skills or discernment have improved over time, my guess is you haven't inquired enough to really see where we're all the common denominator in our life experience. You have to fine tune. We again, it's the thing we do in every other aspect of the life. With this, we kind of feel like we're pounding our head against the wall because it feels so external. It feels like, just hand me my person. But I can tell you that if I handed you a guy and he was tall, dark, handsome, and rich, hopefully you wouldn't just say, I'll take him sight unseen because he's tall, dark, handsome, and rich. Hopefully you'd, from your life experience, from your previous dating experience, from your previous marital experience, from listening to this podcast, you would ask yourself, oh, he's tall, dark, handsome, and rich, but how do I feel with him? Can I be myself around him? Do I trust him? Does he make me feel like a top priority in his life? How do we handle conflict together? Those are things that maybe you weren't asking when you were 27. I don't know. But that's really what dating is about. It's listening to your feelings, paying attention to whether a guy desires you, whether he acts with consistency rather than inconsistency, whether he pushes the relationship forward rather than stagnating in the same place, whether he makes you feel like you can let down your guard and relax and be yourself and know that he's driving this relationship to a place where you can know that you're loved unconditionally, right? Otherwise, if you're not getting anything closer to that, then dating is going to seem like a bunch of just random, disconnected experiences with strangers. And I do know that part of that is the nature of online dating. That's the nature of dating apps, is that it does feel like a bunch of interconnected experiences. It's learning to discard those people quicker, not give them so much weight, right? And only invest your time in the right kind of people. So for me, my story, which I've shared with you before, is 300 dates. What I don't share as much in that number was that I had girlfriends that lasted for short periods of time throughout those 300 dates, where my wife, when she was single, would go out with someone for 3 years or 5 years or 7 years. Mine lasted for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months max. My philosophy was, if I don't see myself marrying this person, the second I realize doesn't have a future, I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to try to make it work. I'm not going to assume this is the best I can do. I'm going to act from a place of confidence and abundance and integrity. And this is the exact same thing that I try to share with you. And what I ended up doing in my 30s that I didn't do in my 20s, where it felt like these random disconnected experiences, is that through the act of coaching people, it reflected my own behavior back on me. My girlfriends got better and better and better over time. Right? My girlfriend at age 31 was superior to the girlfriend that I had previously had at age 27 or whatever the last time I had a girlfriend. And the girlfriend at 32, because they were always short-term girlfriends, was better. Right? And then by the time I met my wife, the girlfriend I had before my wife was amazing. She was really, there's nothing wrong with her. She was too young. I was 35, she was 25, and I needed more of a peer. But the feeling I had in that relationship, where she was happy and warm and fun and accepting, good family person, right? She felt like home. This is my girlfriend of 8 months who I broke up with 6 months before I met my wife. She was the pinnacle of a series of relationships that I had, where in the past I would go out with someone who was impressive but emotionally unstable. Or I'd go out with someone who was impressive but highly critical. Or I'd go out with someone who was impressive but not that into me. Right? I put all my weight into whether she was smart and whether she was attractive, and I didn't pay enough attention to how did I feel when I was with her. Because feelings are kind of everything. So when I sort of dropped into my feelings by coaching other people, I realized there were more people out there that I could really get along with, which is to take nothing away from the person I married. But I started to weight the important things in a relationship differently than I did when I was 31 by the time I got married at 35, 36. So there are so many love you love stories. Remember, I've been doing this since 2003, 22 years. So many love you love stories. And you can just go to my website, right, and go to Love Stories and scroll down and look at the photos and click on the button and read the long form version. These are emails that women send to me way after we're done working together. Right? So we might work together for 6 months or a year, but they get better and better at dating and discerning and getting off the horse and getting back on the horse, learning to trust their own judgment, being the CEO of their love life, firing interns who don't have good long-term potential, and doing it in 3 months or 6 months rather than, say, 3 years. That's a big pivot. If you're saving 2.5 years that you would otherwise spend trying to fix a relationship that is doomed. So the love you success stories that I get are usually women who worked with me 3-4 years ago, have gone through 2 or 3 love you boyfriends, right? And then they send me their engagement photo. Then they send me their photo from their honeymoon, right? It's not this magical instantaneous success, which again is the thing that everybody looks for. The same way it would be great to take a pill to lose 20 pounds in one day. right? It would be great to take the LSAT and immediately become the partner at the law firm. We understand those things require some work and discipline. In dating, we often don't have the ability to do that, or if we're doing it, we feel like we're going nowhere. So I'm circling back to the idea that when you're on that dating treadmill and you feel like you're going nowhere, you're actually going somewhere, right? You're building up awareness, you're building up tolerance, you're building up an immunity to rejection. Learning to trust your own judgment, not worrying about what guys think or that he's the last man on earth. Right? Knowing that there are good men out there and that if you choose them at the wrong time, it doesn't matter how strong your connection is. You learn from listening, but more importantly, you learn from doing. You learn that the things that I share with you are true, not because I say they're true, but because they're effective in real life. And when you start to become more effective at dating itself becomes less of a slog and more fun, despite how bad it often seems out there and how it seems like there are no people. I do spend most of my time listening to women's complaints about men, so I'm not minimizing anything that you're experiencing. Right? I'm always looking for the glass half full. So if you're going to be on a treadmill that feels like it's going nowhere, what can you extract from the process, right, that leads you to a better place? And to me, it's experience, wisdom, and trust in your own judgment in dating relationships and men. So when it feels like it's the darkest before the dawn, realize good stuff is just around the corner. Right? I broke up with an amazing girlfriend, and I was writing articles for Match.com about how I was the dating coach who couldn't find love, and 6 months later I found love. I predict the same thing for you. My name is Evan Mark Katz. This is the Love You Podcast. Thank you for listening. If you are a fan, please leave us a positive review on Apple or Spotify or YouTube. I really, really appreciate it. It helps us with the algorithms. If you are a listener and you haven't taken action and you're not on my mailing list in any way, please, for your sake, not for mine, sign up for the Extraordinary Love Series, extraordinaryloveseries.com. The next unit is on how to identify and attract emotionally available men. Couldn't think of a more important topic. That is a free lecture in Q&A, and it takes place soon. I don't know exactly when this episode is airing. That's why I say soon. And if you are serious about love and you don't want to just listen to podcasts, but you actually want to be part of a community, right, and get one-on-one group coaching, however you choose to get coaching, go to evanmarkatz.com/now. Book a time to talk with me. We're going to listen to you, why you're here, what's not working in your love life, what you'd like to see happen in your love life, what obstacles are getting in the way of your success. And by the time we're done talking, we're going to figure out the right way to proceed for you to help you get the love that you deserve so you could be an active participant in your love life and you could conquer this one thing that has been bothering you, this cloud that hovers over your head for many years. You do not have to be alone. You can be in love and you could have a supportive partner. I promise. evanmarkatz.com/now. In the meantime, thank you for listening. I hope this has shifted your mindset just a little bit, and I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.